Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and you know what? The Bionicle Rahi contest has finally wrapped up, and now it's time for voting. So if you don't know what this is about, just about a month ago I hosted a Bionicle Rahi build contest where you were challenged to build an animal in both a large and a small category should you choose, and have it compete against a ton of other animals to win some really cool Bionicle prizes. And I'm so excited to say that now the entry period is closed and it's time to get into the details of how to cast your vote to determine the winners of the Bionicle Rahi Fanon contest. And this has been such a fun one because you have all just come out and been so creative with all of the different builds, and so I'm so excited to get into reviewing these. Special thanks to the incredible fan and review contest team who have really worked very hard to collate all of these different entries into spreadsheets and kind of check every single one and making sure they all apply to the rules. So huge shout out to my entire incredible team for doing this. But now let's dive into the preliminary voting for the large and small categories. Okay, so here's how voting is going to work. Linked in the description of this video is this document that goes over voting for the Rahi contest. The schedule is from March 7, which is today, to the 11th. Again, you don't have a lot of days to do this. You can fill out all 4 of these small category brackets, as well as all 3 of the large category brackets. Before you get into voting, please do fill out all of the brackets. That is the only way to make this fair, is if you go ahead and vote in all 7 of the categories. I know it's a lot, but it's really the only way because there's so much creativity that went into these that honestly, I am so blown away by the amount of entries here, and I can't wait to see who's gonna take home the prizes. Now moving onwards to semifinals, it'll be from March 12 to 15. There will be a series of categories for small and large of voting links for those brackets. And then finally, there will be brackets for the final category with the winner announced sometime around March 20th. I'll technically be on vacation in Japan at that time, so I'm going to do my best to get it out, and we'll have to see. I actually leave tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to run this while I'm on vacation, and I'm going to do my best to kind of multitask. Moving onwards though, again, completely blown away by the amount of creativity that came from the entries. In the small category alone, we had 84 different entries, which is absolutely insane. And it's really cool to be able to see just so many people come out and create so many unique, varied, and diverse creatures. With a few exceptions, pretty much no Rahi is like the other, and the ones that are similar are trying to interpret the same prompt in 2 very different ways. And I just absolutely love so many of the designs created here. Huge shout out and thank you to everybody who contributed to the contest and really lent your creativity to create so many interesting and unique creatures. Voting is going to be really hard because there are so many good entries here, and not just so many good entries, but there are so many different entries, and it's really hard to say, well, will people gravitate more towards a bird or a bug or a snake or a fish or a squid, and so many other unique types of creatures are very interesting. And that's just for the small category. For the large category, we had 61 different entries, and there are so many different ones as well. Some of these are based off of Rahi that we learned about in the story but never actually got physically depicted, while others are completely unique recreations. Some of them are even based off of movie concept art, old Lego Bionicle concept art, many of them based off of actual animals or real-world animals, and it's just a huge and staggering display of creativity that honestly really blows me away. And I wanted to run the Rahi free-for-all contest because I felt like this is the kind of contest where people can just show up and be extremely creative. As few restrictions as possible. It's not going to be a million people trying to make the same exact Toa. It's people just submitting different things, and I really appreciate just the amount of creativity that came from all of the entries that we're seeing right now. But of course, now you gotta pick your favorites, and I know it's tough because I just voted and oh my goodness, that was so hard to make my own choices. But here's how this is going to work. Across the small category, there are 4 brackets of approximately 20 to 21 people per bracket. For the large category, it's the same thing, 3 brackets with approximately 20 to 21 segments per bracket itself. Now, when you click on the links, you'll be led to a Google Slides link, which will basically be able to show you every single one of the entries in that particular bracket, with the voting link at the end of the slide. Clicking on the voting link will bring you to a Google Forms page where you submit for your favorite entry, your second favorite entry, and your third favorite entry from that particular group. One thing I do want to call out, if you vote for the same entry on the first, second, and third choices, unfortunately, your vote will not be counted. That is really the only way to keep it fair. When people vote for, let's say I really love entry number 55, and I vote for it 3 times for first, second, and third, it just messes the data up, and there isn't really an easy way to avoid that, so just do different things, vote for different things when you search your favorite, your second favorite, and third favorite, and honestly, that'll make the competition a lot more interesting too, because there's gonna be more unique things to be able to run through when it comes to each and every one of these characters. Again, please make sure that you do go out and vote across all 7 different categories, because that really means a lot in helping them all compete on the same playing ground. Obviously, the most important vote is going to come down to the finals, but well, this is determining the semifinals. So every single vote is incredibly important, and there's so much creativity here, it would be a shame if certain entries got overlooked just because they were in a grouping that maybe you weren't necessarily focusing a lot of time on trying to figure out how to vote. So do go and vote on the last slide of every single Google Slides here, has a link to vote, and it's your chance to influence the outcome of who will win the amazing prizes, which you can see in that early contest announcement video, and I'm so excited to see who is going to make it to the semifinals. This is going to be so tough because only 5 entries per bracket will be making it to the semifinals. So there will be 20 semifinalists for the small category and only 15 semifinalists for the large. So this is going to be really tough, and let's see who's going to make it through. Okay, so here are the prizes for the small category of the Bionicle Rahi Fanon contest. Whoever wins the small category will get their pick of one of these 2 masks, and the second place winner of the small category will get the other one. Now, keen-eyed viewers will recognize these as the infamous masks from the Matanui online game, where this mask is obviously very closely tied to the Rahi because this is one of the infected masks worn by the Tarakawa, which first debuted Gali battling against the lizard-like creature on the shores of Gakoro. This is the infected Ruru, which Pterodax used to control the Tarakawa, which eventually destroyed most of the floating village. It is beautifully replicated from the Matanui online game in this teal color intermixed with an infected yellow seeping through the mask itself, and it looks really accurate to the Matanui online game, which is so cool because that was a lot of people's first introduction to the concept of Rahi and infected masks and controlling them through the masks themselves, so I can think of no better prize to be featured in the Rahi contest. But of course, there is another, because one of the other prizes here is the Infected Miru. This is the one worn by Toa Liwa after his mind was taken control by the Nui Rama under Makuta Pterodax's thrall. Obviously, you have this mottled green color, you have a bit of a sand green showing through, but it's intermixed with black, showcasing a darker side to Liwa itself, and I just love how this mask looks rusted and pitted, very close to what it looked like for Liwa in the Matanui online game, and it will look absolutely fantastic on Toa Liwa in case you ever want to recreate the battle between Liwa and Onua as featured in the Matanui online game. These 2 masks from one of the most iconic pieces of Bionicle media are directly tied to the Rahi, which is why they make total sense to showcase in this contest, and I am so jealous of whoever wins these because, oh my goodness, I am so tempted to just keep these for myself. They are so good. But wait, there's more. Because for the first place winner of the large category of the Rahi contest, we have this bad boy right here. Now, what exactly is this? Well, this is an infected Kanohi Kraken. This is modeled with dark green and red, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. This is obviously mimicking an infected look for the Mask of Shadows itself, and this is the ultimate prize for a Rahi contest like this. I cannot wait to see the mocks that will come out of the winner of this prize because this is easily one of the coolest ones we've gotten. I personally love how more and more intricate the prizes have been getting for the Fanon contest, and again, all of these masks have been provided by the incredibly talented Nate's Mask Shop, so first of all, thank you so much for doing that. And this is so cool because you have dark green, you have dark red, and that really showcases the infected nature of the Kanohi Kraken, kind of like what we saw in the actual movies for the Mask of Light and the Legends of Metru Nui movies. Makuta wore a mask with this very similar rusted color scheme, and so this is a really cool one getting the actual set version of the Kraken in these dual colors. But that's not all, because the second place winner will get a bag full of original LEGO Bionicle pieces from Christian Faber's private collection. That is right, I've been cleared by Christian Faber to actually give away some pieces from his own collection, and this is really special because these elements were used in the development of a lot of the Bionicle concepts. He was sent toys from LEGO and sent these pieces in bulk or as part of sets to experiment with, and for Advanced Copenhagen to actually create animations based off of these pieces. So this is kind of a piece of Bionicle history. I have kept them apart from the other parts in my collection because they are just that special, and a lot of these are from the 2001 to 2003 era. And yeah, just look at all of those white Matatus. These are technically misprints or European misprint color masks, so you don't see these pop up very often, and he had a lot of them. So obviously, the second place winner will be getting at least one of these, as well as a handful of other pieces. I intend to make this entire bag last, hopefully, several contests. I want this to, eventually, when we're done with the fandom contest, to be empty, so I'm really going to try to portion this out and give out a little bit of it per contest as just a bit of extra motivation for folks who are fans of Bionicle, who are fans of preserving the history. And again, special thanks to Christian Faber, creator of Bionicle, for literally donating this to the contest, so I really, really appreciate it. Technically, he donated it to me and said you can do whatever you want with these pieces, but I figured that I probably should do something a little bit more special than just like use them in my own mocks or use them in my own random creations. I kind of wanted to give back and let people have a chance to create their own stuff with them, and also just preserve them, because these are literally what he used and Advanced Copenhagen used to create their Bionicle promotions. So super cool stuff. This is going to be the second place prize. I'll get a handful of these and I'll throw in some of the masks, and that's the second place winner of the large category. So there you have it. That's the prize pool for the Rahi contest. There may not be as many different and varied prizes as some of the other contests, but we definitely have made up for that in terms of having these feel very, very special. These are all completely unique prizes. 3 dual molded masks for a single contest is really special, and I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful to Nate's Mash Shop for just toiling away constantly. It literally took him months, as you're probably imagining what took so long to get this contest out. It took him months to perfect the color scheme of these and to make them look good. So huge shout out to Nate. Thank you so much for the hard work on this. Seriously, I am really grateful for that. And with that, let the fighting begin. Alright, and with that, we've summed up the voting announcement. Be sure to go out and vote, because the vote ends very soon, as the schedule has been outlined in the description and in the video. And be sure to stay tuned, because the quarterfinals and semifinals are going to be starting very soon.